Welcome back to the Life Unscripted Podcast with Rosabel. If you ever face the brink of collapse, personally or professionally, this episode is for you. Today, we're going to be talking to not just a mom, but a mom who actually turned a near total devastation into 1.2 million healing empire. Is that right? Good to have you here, Amber.
Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so delighted to be here. Yeah, I am a massage therapist, now a CEO and a business owner, and we recently had a global pandemic, which decimated so many industries around the world, but especially the service industry and a high touch business like massage therapy. Obviously, we can't do it from 6 feet apart. Obviously, we can't do it online or curbside or delivery. The only thing that we sell is literally physical touch to people who aren't in your bubble, right? And so not only were we shut down by order of the governor, but then, trying to rebuild after that, when being within 6 feet of people who were not in your bubble was completely just like taboo back then. It was really difficult to rebuild. Additionally, as we were talking before we started recording, a lot of your listeners are women. A lot of them probably remember how difficult that was to keep their own careers going when schools were closed, when there were no after school camps, there were no daycares, there were no play dates, there were no babysitters. And in a lot of households, the mom is typically the primary caregiver of the kids. In a lot of households, typically it's the mom who makes less money than the dad. And so if someone's going to have to give up their job to care for the family and care for the kids, it's typically going to be the woman in the house. And it was called the she session for a reason, because a lot of us were disproportionately affected negatively by the pandemic, more so than our male colleagues. So we have in an industry that is high touch, right? That we don't have any physical products to sell. And 85% of massage therapists are women. And when women aren't able to work, I don't have a workforce. It was really hard to find any grant money. The PPP money that was rolling out, I didn't get for probably 6 months after we were originally closed. So trying to just pay the bills and keep the lights on was a huge challenge. Trying to find massage therapists who were able to work, wanting to work and able to work consistently was a challenge. Convincing our clients to come back in that this was a safe space, that was a challenge. And yet through all of that, I took a business that was at that time, right before the pandemic, we had 2 locations, 13 massage therapists. 2 months later, we reopened. We were closed for 2 months, reopened 2 months later. I was down to 4 massage therapists and 1 location. And then a year to the day later, we reopened in a brand new, beautiful space close to downtown with twice as many treatment rooms. I now have 25 massage therapists. I have 4 front desk staff assistants, like just totally killing it with their customer service. We gross over $1 million a year, and now we're looking at franchising. And it was just such to go from nothing to shooting for the moon in barely over a year. Just, I guess, kind of reinforced for me, how capable I am as a businesswoman, as a leader, and now as a CEO. And I'm really excited to be offering these franchise opportunities with my business, Soma Massage Therapy, so that other people, you don't have to be a massage therapist, like anyone interested in the wellness industry. Very excited to be offering these opportunities for people to grow their careers and grow their wealth and offer healing to, hundreds or thousands of people in their community as well. So it's pretty remarkable that I'm here. I really, when I was ordered to close the doors in March of 2020, I never in a million years imagined I would be at this place today. And I'm really, really grateful that we are.
Absolutely. That is amazing. I was just thinking about that today, and many are still recovering from it. It's been about 5 years.
And I know, I feel like people are kind of sick of talking about COVID, like it was 5 years ago, but it really left an impact on a lot of businesses, on a lot of women's careers. It certainly left a deep traumatic scar in me. I feel like I'm still healing from it in some ways. I still feel kind of emotionally triggered by things that happened in my business, but the strength that I found from that has really, like I said, really kind of cemented in me that I am on the right track. But yeah, it was 5 years ago, but a lot of businesses are still adjusting today, and learning from the lessons that they learned during the pandemic, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not just the business, but people's lives, and so much. And you said that perhaps you mentioned that people might be tired of talking about it, but there's never too much talking about things, because I am a firm believer that if we bottle things, that's just kind of makes us sick. We need to get things out. We need to be able to transform those to be able to communicate. So it's a beautiful thing, and it's
Yeah.
okay to keep talking about COVID in a way. I believe
Yeah.
that, because
Yeah.
look what happened to you. And then you also mentioned that this kind of happened by accident, right?
Literally the entire thing, even the fact that I'm a massage therapist, was all completely on accident. But I'm sure many of your listeners who are in that entrepreneurial space can resonate with that sort of that gut feeling they get of like, this is the next right step. This is the next right step. Like, probably a lot of your entrepreneurial listeners probably don't have a business background. They're figuring it out as they go along, myself included. So I actually went to a really fantastic private liberal arts school. I went to college there for 4 years and graduated with a really fascinating degree that I just really didn't know what to do with. I think, Rosabel, I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew that I wanted to go to college. And then I thought I would figure it out when I was in college, and I didn't. So I graduated with a brilliant degree, couldn't find a way to use it, was kind of floundering for a few years, ended up in Boulder, Colorado. I was at that point now married to my college sweetheart. And so he was going to school. He was going to grad school. He's now got a PhD, and he's a philosophy professor here in Denton, Texas, where we live. So he was going to grad school and doing something amazing with his life. And I was working in this dead end job that I didn't love, knowing that I wanted something more, but just not really knowing what it was. Took some time to just kind of explore my new community. I've only been living in Boulder for a short time, and discovered that one of the very best massage schools in the world at that time was just like 3 miles up the road. And that something kind of resonated with me. I had never gotten a professional massage in my life. And I was like, I want to go to massage school. It just, I can't explain. It just felt right. I've just been, you can see I talk with my hands a lot. I'm a very sort of like, very affectionate, physical person. Touching people doesn't gross me out like it grosses out my husband. You know, it was a 1-year program. And so it didn't require a big commitment like my husband going to grad school. You know, it was a 1-year program. Could be in and out in a year. And I was like, surely this is something that I would be good at. So I applied to school. I was accepted and I graduated with honors a year later. So even just becoming a massage therapist, like that was even an accident. And throughout my career, I've been doing this since 2004. And throughout my career, at every step, I've always kind of looked at ways I could kind of, scale up, but like really just kind of like meet the needs of my community, right? And so if that means I have to adjust my hours from a Monday morning to a Tuesday evening because that's a more popular time for my clients, or work a full day Saturday instead of working the entire weekend, like whatever it was, like how can I adjust my schedule to meet the needs of my clients? Okay, well now I'm booked and I've got more people coming in. How can I make sure that they get massages that they need when I'm fully booked? And for a while, I was referring them out to other therapists in the area because I didn't have any room on my schedule, but I knew that they needed some work before they could get back on my table. And most of the time, those clients would come back for their appointments with me that were already people would have these standing appointments, say like once a month, right? And if they hurt themselves in between, I didn't have any time to see them for yet another month for their next appointment. So I would encourage them to go see another therapist in town that I knew gave quality work. And then I would count on them coming back for that next standing appointment in a month's time. Most of the time they would, but sometimes they wouldn't. And it wasn't because I was a bad therapist. Maybe it was just like their location was more convenient or their hours were more convenient, whatever it was. And so I realized if I wanted to continue to meet the needs of my community, I wanted to have a little more oversight over their care. And so I decided to start hiring people, and so I could refer them in-house. And that's how Soma Massage Therapy was born. And then every step of the way, just hiring another team member, hiring another massage therapist, finding another location, getting bigger, 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 to the point now where we're maxed out. We're open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We've got 7 treatment rooms. I do have a second location now. It's just one room in a chiropractic clinic. It's a satellite location, but still we've got 2 locations. So we have these 8 rooms. They're booked solid. And honestly, Rosabel, I didn't want to have to start another business because it's a lot of freaking work.
Yes.
Open another studio and spend all that money on furnishing the other studio and then managing all these other massage therapists. I kind of want to think about the next phase in my life. My son's graduating high school in a year. My daughter will be starting high school in a year. It might be kind of a good point for us to leave Texas where we live, but we don't have any family here, and move someplace maybe closer to our parents who are getting older. I can't really do that if there's no, like, I can't transfer to another Soma Massage Therapy, say in Colorado Springs, because one doesn't exist, right? Not yet. But if I could elevate myself to the role of a corporate CEO, I can kind of work anywhere, right? So again, I'm trying to kind of scale up to meet the needs of my clients by rather investing, instead of investing in building another location, I'm spending that money on investing on a franchise model so that someone else can open that third, fourth, fifth, 100th location. And it gives me the freedom to still be very much in this work, but not at the downtown studio every single day as the general manager. I'm now a CEO. So all of this was just a one happy accident. And I just feel like I keep tripping forward. And I'm really,
That is a great problem to have in another kind of problem. But this so resonate with me so much, because that's the same story of my podcast. It was a little bit of an accident, you know. Yeah. I had this book. That's how we start, you know, in small steps. And I am just, again, same thing, moving forward. Now I'm trying to get a team together, you know, because I cannot not longer do this alone, you know. Right. So it's beautiful when we finally feel like, oh, I see potential in this. And that's the idea, you know. It's so grateful that you can share that experience, because there's a lot of women out there who are like, okay, I got this idea, I want to start this, but what do I do? And like for us, the one of the big tips that we got is just like, hey, just do it. Just start whatever you are. Start with a little mic, for example, in the podcast industry, just start with a mic, whatever, just start.
No, agree. It's the Life Unscripted, right? It's just like one happy accident, right? And you asked, you know, like, what do I do? How do I get started? That's great advice. Just go for it. Just go for it. And if I could offer the next piece of advice, it'd be to surround yourself with people who really believe in you. That's and exactly what you're trying to do. Because I think I spent a lot of my career before, I'm like a totally different person after the pandemic. I think before the pandemic, I wasn't as confident in my ability to continue to grow Soma. And how do I say this? I didn't have always the best people on my team. I had people who were maybe not actively sabotaging me, but certainly not on board with my vision. And instead of ditching them, they were dead weight. Like, why, you know what, like, we're not on the same page. Like, why am I paying you to be here? Rather than ditching them, I just kind of put up with it. And I just kept appeasing them and trying to make them happy instead of really focusing on my North Star and where I needed to go. And fortunately, during the pandemic, it gave me the excuse to drop a lot of the dead weight, and I started fresh. And I'm like, I only want people on my team who believe in me and what I'm doing, because I have no time for this other BS. Like, it's full steam ahead. Like, we've lost all this ground because of this pandemic. You have to be on board or you're not a part of this. And it's really, and we just completely took off from closing to then 14 months later, reopening in this beautiful space and now franchising. I was able to do that because not only because I just went for it, as you said, I just went for it. I just kept going. But I surrounded myself with people who supported me and supported my vision. So I think that'd be the next piece of advice I'd offer to people, is just, if they're not on your team, there's really no room for them. I know that can be hard for some people to hear. But really you're just spinning your wheels and trying to make people happy who are quite honestly never going to be happy with what you're doing.
People that believe in your vision, for sure, you know, that believe in you, that is so important. You talk about non-toxic workplace, right? And then how, like, you make your studio a place where people love coming to each day. Now that is so important, because it's the energy, and then the customers, the people that come in. By the way, I'm a big massage customer myself. I just had one right on Sunday. There's a place down here that they're actually open like you. Those places are so important. There's a Chinese couple, and they're open Monday through Sunday. I believe it's like 8 to 8 or something. They stay so busy because it's like in a moment, you know. You wake up with this cake, and I'm like, I really need some help, you know.
Yep.
and say, and I just text him and like, can you fit me in? It was actually Saturday.
We get a lot of those too. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're able to have quite a few, not quite a few, but we have a handful of same day appointments we can usually get people into.
Yeah, because people, but super busy people like me, like we cannot go during the weekend. That day, it was the craziest day. I was going to I was going to be a panelist and something I got invited. I was trying to get ready for it. It's like, I was like, can you fit me at 10:30? No. Okay. It's like crazy.
Oh, I'm so glad they could get you in. Yeah, we
Yes.
we get pretty booked, especially evenings and weekends, because when people are free. But we've got a wait list. We have a text list. So when we have like a last minute appointment, we'll text our people and say, whoever can get first dibs on this, we'll give you a discount or a free upgrade or something. And so we typically stay pretty booked. But yeah, I'm really glad that you've got a place where you can get that self. So I just got a massage for it.
Because it is a true need. Like for me, it's like, it's a need.
Our tagline at Soma is self-care is how you get your power back. If you're just completely depleted, you're broken, you're hobbled, you're just bruised, either physically or emotionally, it is really hard to show up as your best self. And that means that your relationships are going to suffer, your professional obligations, your house is going to start falling apart. You really got to take care of yourself if you're going to take care of everything else in your life. And so that we really hold that true at Soma. Self-care is really how you get your power back. And it's so rewarding to be in this space where, as you said, you talked about that non-toxic environment where people enter into the space knowing that they're going to be cared for, knowing that they're going to walk out feeling better than when they walked in. Like that is so rewarding to me to know that I'm able to cultivate that space, not only for our clients, but for our therapists too. Like I make sure, Rosabel, I will always believe the very, very best in every person. I will always believe that their heart is always pure and good. And that if there was something went sideways, it was never intentional. It was probably just a misunderstanding, miscommunication. Let's sit down and talk it out. Right. I will always believe that. But the moment that someone crosses me or is found to be intentionally trying to sabotage me, girl, dead to me forever.
Do we have the same birthday by any chance?
Dead to me, gone, you're buried in the ground. But I really, because I'm in this space of like really believing the good in everyone, we've really been able to cultivate this very supportive environment. All the therapists work with each other. We're never trying to undercut each other. We're never trying to like sabotage someone's schedule to benefit our own. Like that is no way to run a business or no way to run any relationship. I actually love firing clients. And I know that sounds counterintuitive to business owners, but I only want to attract people, the right kind of people who understand what we're doing, who treat us with respect. Girl, I will fire clients who even so much as look at us sideways. They'll have they'll say something inappropriate during a session or on a phone call, whatever it is. And it doesn't matter how many times they've been to Soma. If we have this gut feeling, I think as women, and then even more so as massage therapists, because we are trained to kind of track those nonverbal cues, right? And so when we sense that someone is there not for therapeutic purposes, I will 100% fire them, not the therapist, the client. And I make it very clear why they're not allowed to come here anymore. And so I've really, really worked really hard on creating a safe, inclusive space that is non-toxic, that is supportive, that is professional, that is therapeutic for not only, like I said, our clients, but our therapists as well. Because if you're constantly chasing your profits, then you're forgetting about the people that have built the business. But if you treat your people, namely your clients and your therapists, with the respect and dignity that they deserve, they're going to take care of the business and the profits will follow.
And with all respect to all those other business owners, that is such a rarity because in the day and age that we live in, I mean, I work in the healthcare sphere, and unfortunately, it's so many numbers, beds, this, that, and that need to, especially now also in the age of AI, we have all this computer, all this technology, and I think people are still craving for that phase, the massage. That is so, so important because a lot of us, I love what I do here, spending time, I wish it could be that I could do it face to face. but it's better than none, right? But
Right.
there's a lot of people that don't have that contact. They don't have it with their family members. They live by themselves. You name it.
Yeah, early in my career when I was working in Boulder, I did have a client. She was widowed rather young. I think she was maybe in her late 50s, early 50s. And she, like me, is a very affectionate person. And, her kids had grown. They were moved out of the house. Her husband had passed unexpectedly, and she found herself suddenly alone. And she would come see me weekly, honestly. And she told me, she's like, I just want someone to touch me. Just need that physical touch. And you have those hormones that are released when we do, like the dopamine and the serotonin and like the endorphins, like the feel good hormones are released when we embrace each other, when we're being touched and held and cared for, and if you suddenly don't have that in your life, like you crave that. And massage can certainly meet that need for some of our clients.
This is backed by science, actually. And I think they did a study where they took I don't know exactly. Forgive me if I'm wrong about this study, whether it was done with young children or was it a study? Was it not? Was it ethical, unethical? At that part, I don't know. But it was something about some children that grew up without touch, without that nurturing, that care, and the ones who
Yes, I read that same study when I was in massage school, and I don't remember the details either, but it was some hospital or orphanage or something, and the children, the infants who received that touch, they grew larger, like they put on more weight, they stayed healthier.
And I think the other ones actually ended up dying, right?
Some did. Some did.
Yeah, I think something like that.
So it was a highly unethical as a study. But I do remember reading that same study in massage school about
probably not even in the 1900s. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Well, maybe I need to refresh my memory on that.
I mean, we're pack animals. We live in herds as humans, right? And not everyone does, but they're the outliers, right? Like the majority of us live in herds. We're herd animals, and we need to receive that touch in order to stay healthy and connected to each other. And you're right, in this age of AI and social media and cell phones, it makes the very far seem very close, but it makes the very close seem very impossible. So massage can certainly meet that need and provide that physical touch.
You want to tell our listeners, our audience, a little bit more, perhaps more information about the franchise?
Thanks for that opportunity. I would love to. Yes, heck yes. So as I mentioned at the start, we are franchising. And so what that means is that if you are interested in being your own boss, owning your own business, get massaged regularly. Like I get a massage once a week. Like, wouldn't you if you had a massage studio? It just, check in on people and, see how the rooms are holding up. If you want to be your own boss, have a little more control over your financial security, have a little more control over your freedom, you're interested in the wellness space, consider purchasing a Soma Massage Therapy franchise. I mentioned that I'm a massage therapist, but it is 100% not required for you to be a massage therapist. In fact, it might be better if you're not a massage therapist, because if one of your therapists calls out sick, you as the business owner might feel compelled to go, cover their shift instead of really working on the business, right? And really managing the business and doing the marketing and doing the things to fill the books. We are offering franchise opportunities coast to coast, whole like operations manuals. So like we train you on how to do this. Like you don't need to know how to do massage because you're not the massage therapist. You're the business owner. Similar to like if you opened a Dunkin' Donuts, like you don't even know how to turn on an oven before you start a Dunkin' Donuts. They teach you how to make donuts. They teach you how to make coffee, right? We're going to teach you how to book appointments, how to answer the phone when someone says, what kind of massage is right for me, how to manage your books, how to know, from day to day, what your expenses are going to be, exactly what it is that you need to order when you open a Soma Massage Therapy. And what I think is so cool about the world of franchising that I wish I would have known early on in my career is that you are buying into a whole business model. You don't have to figure this out on your own. You don't have to make the same mistakes I made when it came to hiring and firing, when it came to budgets, when it came to finding a location. Like you don't have to figure that out on your own. You're working as a part of a team because you have the franchisor, namely myself, and other franchise owners there to help you along the way. So if you have some money to invest, possibly, starting your own business would be great. Starting a franchise would be probably even greater. There's financing for things like that. You finance a house, you finance a motorcycle, you finance a college education. You can certainly finance a franchise and it pays you back in real time. So if you're interested in something like this, you can find out more information on our website at mysomamassage.com. It's SOMA like somatic, mysomamassage.com. At the top of the page is a franchise button. You can click on that, get some more information, fill out a little form. We'll send you some more information. And if that's not right for you, but you know someone, maybe your cousin just graduated from cosmetology school. Maybe, your sister-in-law just got some inheritance money. Maybe your brother just got fired from his job and he's like sick of this nonsense and wants to do something different. If you know someone who's interested in starting their own business and you introduce them to me, you tell them about this opportunity. If that person then completes the process and becomes a Soma Massage Therapy franchise owner, then you, as my way of thanking you for sending me a referral, will get either $1,000 cash or a year of free massages. So think about, maybe this is the perfect opportunity for you, but if it's not, think about who do you know, send them to my website, mysomamassage.com, make sure they name drop. And then if they complete the process, then you get a little bit of the referral bonus. So yeah.
That is awesome. And I was going to ask you, like, how can our listeners connect with you? But basically, just go to your Soma Massage. Okay,
yeah, mysomamassage.com. And there's the form on the franchise page for them to fill out. We can get a little more information. Does not obligate them to anything. It gives us an opportunity to connect with them, to give them more info. But if they just have questions in general, there's also a contact us form on that website as well.
Wow, that's so awesome. Yeah. Amber, is there anything I have not asked you that perhaps you would like to? You're like, I gotta get this out. I gotta tell the audiences.
Gosh, girl, we could talk all day. You're easy to talk to. It's a fun conversation. No, I mean, I feel like we've covered it. I think, the whole title of your podcast, the Life Unscripted, right? Just talking about just kind of following that gut feeling. What's next? Just do it. Having faith in yourself, like not, ditch that imposter syndrome. Like, girl, you got this. You can totally do this. And as long as you've got people on your side who are not actively working against you, like there's nothing you can't do. I think if I could offer any other advice to listeners would just be to really stay focused on what your North Star is. Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, what brings you excitement? What are you passionate about? What good can you bring into the world? Where do you want to take that? And just stay laser focused on that. And there's going to be people trying to distract you and pull you off course, and just don't let them. Just drown out that noise. Just focus on that North Star and know that you're so capable of doing this as long as you've got the people and the resources behind you. And if you don't have the people and the resources behind you, then get them, because you're super smart and you can do this. Just stay focused on that North Star, and there's nothing you can't do.
Absolutely. That is so right. It aligns so much with the title of my book. It's called The Courage to Succeed.
Out of that comfort zone, to quit that job, to fire that person who's been not aligning with you.
What I've been telling people also is, because a lot of times people see courage or so far away, but I said to people, hey, you actually do have the courage, every day that you actually wake up and you keep doing this thing called life. There is courage. It takes courage to get up every day and go to a job perhaps that you don't even like, or all these things that we have to do to raise children, to just live,
Yeah.
Such a powerful message.
Just showing up. I've heard about this 1% theory too. Like, if you just try and get like 1% better every day, it's just going to compound. So just thinking about ways that you can, care for yourself. Like for you, like, go get a massage and show up as your best self, for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month. Hydrate, write that email. And then the next day, write 2 emails. And the next day, maybe write 3 emails. Just try and just do a little bit better each day. And that growth will certainly come.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much, Amber, for sharing your wisdom, your story. I mean, it's so, so inspiring. I find it very inspiring. I say, again, learn more about My Soma Massage, www.mysomamassage.com. Also, make sure that you do subscribe to the Life Unscripted Podcast. Don't forget to click the little bell, the notification, so you don't miss an episode. And of course, if this episode uplifted you or brought you joy, please make sure you leave a review, share with a friend, drop a comment below. Your support means the world. Until next time, stay unscripted, authentic, and remember, sometimes biggest detours are exactly what we need. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amber.
Thank you so much. It was a joy.